Good evening. Welcome to Epiphany Lutheran Church in Richmond, Virginia. I'm Kevin Barger, the Director of Music Ministry. This is our Music Minute, taking a look at our hymns that we'll be using in worship tomorrow. We're going to start with the Sending Hymn, which is for the fruit of all creation. And the tune for this hymn was basically flopping with its original text. And so in the middle of the 20th century, a hymnologist asked Fred Pratt Green, hey, can you write a text that would go to this tune so that the tune will survive? And that appeared first in a Methodist hymnal in 1970. However, the new text that Fred Pratt Green wrote didn't take to this tune either. So the tune that we sing it to is what we reverted to over the days because everybody liked it better, and that's what we're going to sing. So this is For the Fruit of All Creation. A nice lullaby version almost of that. All right, we're going to move to the organ for the next three. So I'll talk about the first one, which is our gathering hymn, Making Their Way. We've done this actually several times. It's from our new hymnal supplement, All Creation Sings. And this is a beautiful text. It was written by Sister Dolores Duffner. And what she's done here is make it clear that everyone, from all times, all places, all facets of society, is called to gather and hear God's word. They're gathered to offer thanks, share in the Eucharistic feast. And what she's done here, she's a prolific hymn writer, and she was born and raised on the farm in Red River Valley, North Dakota, of all places. She's now a member of the St. Benedict's Monastery in St. Joseph, Minnesota. And the text is set to a Dutch tune, which you'll probably recognize. So this is Making Their Way. you recognize it? I bet you might have. Okay, we'll turn next to communion, and communion is as the grains of wheat. And this text is actually a prayer that the church may be gathered together from all corners of the world into God's kingdom. It goes on to talk about the cup and the feast to come in the stanzas between the refrains. So the piece about as the grains of wheat creates the refrain of this, and then the stanzas are the cup and the feast to come. It was originally written to be sung as the table was prepared at the offering time in Marty Haugen's Now the Feast and Celebration, which many of us are familiar with. So this is a variation on As the Grains of Wheat. Just a lovely melody. And last but not least is our hymn of the day, and that is God Whose Giving Knows No Ending. And this was written for the 40th anniversary celebration of the Department of Stewardship and Benevolence of the National Council of Churches. Oh, goodness. And if that wasn't enough, it was in cooperation with the Hymn Society. So they had asked for new hymns on stewardship, and there were about 450 submissions that they received in that request. And this was one of the 10 that were chosen to be printed. While it's not the original hymn tune, the old hymn tune here works well with this new text, And Rustington is the name of that hymn tomb, and that is named for the town in England where its composer was living when he died in 1918. So this is a 3-part variation, so almost a partita, if you will, on God whose giving knows no ending. All right, so that does us for another Green Sunday, as it were. If you're going to join us in person tomorrow, we'll love to have you here, and that will be at 8:30 and 10:30. And if you're tuning in online, that will be at 10:30 on our YouTube live stream. Thanks again for joining. Have a great evening.